Hello, everyone. It's William here from Allegory Gallery, and we are still in the middle of our reset week, so no live sales today. But um, I figured today we would just do a little bit of designing with each other and hanging out. Um, I have this piece by Laura Lunsford that surprisingly has not sold. What? Um, So I figured I would do something with it today, maybe with all of you. We'll see what happens. Um, but first, let's chat a little bit. I'm a little flustered. I just got home. I just got home a few minutes ago from the store and then had to stop at the cottage on the way home to pick some things up to work on tonight after the live here. And then I forgot stuff at the store. So I had to switch my plans of what I'm going to work on tonight here. And then we then I went grocery shopping and got some groceries to make some dinner tonight. I didn't know if Andrew had plans for that. He didn't sleep very much last night, and he had a big meeting this morning that took him out of town. So I didn't even know if he would be still awake when I got home or not. But he is working on a project that is due on Sunday, I believe he said. So it's part of that. He showed you that circular brick stitch. So he's working on that project that has to do with that. So it's been busy. And I gathered some things up here just before we got started to see, but we'll see if I like them as we go on. I may have to figure out some other things. I grabbed quite an assortment of stuff because this is black and white, right? This is black and white, so it's neutral. And so I grabbed some black, I grabbed some white, I grabbed some silver, I grabbed some green because I think green's the color that I want to accentuate it with, maybe, because I like green. But I also grabbed some lapis, these beautiful lapis rounds that we have that we were selling before. And maybe I'll like those instead. I don't know. So I may go blue. I'm not sure. I'm wearing blue today, so that's kind of it called me to that lapis, and I do love lapis. So we'll see. We'll see what y'all think too. We'll have some of you. I'll request your input from time to time on this, and we'll kind of design together. Now, if you've got a project that you've been wanting to work on, I hope that you will also sit with me and work and let me know what you're working on. This isn't quite the same as being on Zoom and doing the work together like in our creative make-alongs, but I figured for a Friday, kind of just chill day, it'll be good to hang out and just make something and see what comes out. I have no plans for this. Like normally for a creative make-along, I try to have something in my mind, um, but I literally got home and Andrew asked if I could do the live because he's working on that project, and so I'm like, okay, let's do this. He's like make something. I'm like okay. At least he helped me get that idea going because I was like frazzled when I walked in. We put some of the air conditioners in the windows. We put one more air conditioner in the window down in the dining room, so that hopefully the dining room and the kitchen cool down a little bit, and that'll help cool down the downstairs. It is hot. It is hot. Um, so let's see here. Who's with us? Susie's here. Hello, Susie. Suzanne is here as well. Thank you for joining us. Says hello, everyone. How's everything? How's everything going? It's going well. Teresa's here. Hello, Teresa. Angela's here. Says happy steamy Friday. Yes, it's very steamy today. It rained, and it's continuing to rain. And I don't know what the humidity is here today. Um, 74% right now. 74% humidity. So not quite 98 like you, Angela, but it's humid here. Suzanne says we got great news that we have a new AC. We need a new AC unit. Such fun. Oh no. Um, yeah, we have. Thankfully, our old ones that we just have window ones. Our house does not have um, the ductwork and all that for a whole house AC. So we just have this one in here. We have one for in the bedroom. We have one for in the guest room. We have a rolling standing one for downstairs that we had originally bought for the store at one point, but we have it there. We have another one we bought for the annex, actually, when we had the annex, the Allegory Gallery Annex. Who remembers that? Many, many years ago. And that's a rolling one too. And I think it's in the garage, but it probably needs to come into the house because we'll probably need one in the living room as well. Because I think it's going to be a hot summer. I have that feeling. Suzanne asked, how's Idabelle? Idabelle is doing well. She was just outside this door just a few seconds ago crying for me. She's been my little buddy. Whenever I get home, she's been wanting my attention. I think she's healing. She likes to be close to me. She's been aggressively purring at me and wanting to sit with me. And so we're not going to make this live too long today. We're going to play around and design. We'll see how long it goes. But she's been looking for my attention ever since I got home. So that's pretty sweet. But she's healing well, it seems, and doing okay. Michelle is here, says hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Angela says not getting you on YouTube. I have a few people watching on YouTube, so we must be on YouTube. It must be working. So I'm not sure why you can't get us there. Marion says happy Friday the 13th. I'll be lurking for a bit while my phone charges. We're having thunderstorms as well. Yeah, it is Friday the 13th, which is a good day for Idabelle, right? She's a little black cat, all black cat. So I need to give her some more attention because it's her day, right? So happy Friday the 13th, everyone. I don't believe in it being a bad luck day. I've had a pretty good day today. We had one person come in the store and hang out, just one of the neighborhood people who every once in a while stops by to say hi. So he stopped in today and was chatting a little bit, and I was working through lots and lots and lots and lots of packing. So that's what I was doing all day. My mom stopped in as well, so that was nice. She brought me lunch. She was up getting some blood work done, and so she stopped in and we chatted a little bit. And yeah, so it was a good day. Susie says, I finally got my veggie garden planted and my rose bush planted. Nice. It is time, it's time to get those veggies in, right? Gotta wait till the frosts are all over, but I think we're out of that range now, for sure. Let's see here. Suzanne asked, what kind of roses, Susie? Teresa says, happy Friday the 13th, right? It is, it's a good one. Yeah, I didn't even realize it was Friday the 13th until our friend Susie sent me a message today saying to hug a black cat because it's Friday the 13th. So that kind of creeped up on me. I had no idea. That's how detached I am from the world right now, I feel like. So what's everyone else doing? How was your week? How's everything going? How's life? It's Friday. Is that good for everybody? I'll be at the store Saturday and Sunday, so if you're in Johnstown and want to hang out, come hang out with me. We can make stuff, or you can make stuff, and I can finish my packing and sorting that I am doing. I'm going to do more of that tonight. I brought stuff home to do more and get some stuff finalized, which will be nice. It'll feel good. Let's see. Susie says she did a yellow knockoff rose. The one died last year, and the other two are red rose bushes. Nice. We got one rose on our rose bush this year so far. Just one. It's beautiful. Deep. They're lovely deep red. I don't know what kind they are because they were here when we bought the house. We've transplanted some of them, and they've had a hard time of it where we moved them. But the one where we moved it from, I think that's where it originally was, started growing again. We must not have gotten it all. And we get roses on that one. It likes to be right there. So that's a thing. Yeah, so that was my day, everybody. My day was not not that it wasn't exciting, but my day was not jam-packed full of too many different things. I did the packing and shipping. I guess it really was. I did packing and shipping. I stopped and I had to get a permit at the permit office today for Johnstown Pride. We're going to be a vendor in Johnstown Pride next Saturday, so that's exciting. So I stopped and got the permit at the permit office this morning, and then I opened the store, and then I worked on packing and shipping all day, and then our friend Tony stopped by, my mom stopped by, and that's all. That's what I did all day. And then closed up shop, came home, did some grocery shopping, and here I am with all of you. Thank you for joining us. Michelle says, working on my hummingbird bracelet. Saw Andrew's video yesterday. I've done some circular brick stitch before. I made a bowl last time I tried. Nice. Our Pride Parade is tomorrow after the protest march, says Suzanne. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I don't know what all's going on as far as the protest march in our area. I've not heard anything, but I'm not. I've had my head down for quite a bit this week. We've been very this reset week has been very busy between taking care of Idabelle and trying to do what we set out to do. It has been busy. Andrew made a post talking about how things at the cottage have kind of not moved along too far, and that's pretty true. We did get a lot of the shipping department stuff kind of sort of rearranged. It's in a mixed state right now, but at least we did get a chunk of that done that will allow me to get in there and finesse it a little bit. But it's been, I have no idea what's going on right now in a lot of things. But I do know that I'm making a lot of progress, and that's fulfilling for me personally, and helps take some of the stress off my back, my shoulders, which is good. So that's that. I'm going to flip the camera around, and if you're working on something, let me know. Michelle, I know, is working on the hummingbird bracelet. What are y'all? Are y'all going to work on something with me? Hopefully. If you are, let me know. And I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to show you some of the things I picked out. You can help me decide what you think, and we'll kind of put something together. How about it? Let's see here. Let's do this one. And where are my lights? Over here. Teresa has a maroon climbing rose, red, pink, and peach tea rose. Nice. I was never a huge rose fan, but the more I see them, I guess because I never knew of such a variety, right? And the more I learn about them and the more I see them, I do like them. Okay, so I have this down so my beads don't roll away, and I'm working with this, so let's take this off. I absolutely love this pendant. I thought for sure it was going to be one of the first to go, because I know so many people like dendritic agate, but it did not. It did not go. So here it is, and I have lots and lots of things that I've kind of picked out that could go with it. I have some of these that I thought might work well. I found, now this was a set of lamp work that had this swan, and we had paired it with these beads. And as I'm holding these up to the light, I'm realizing these ones are more brown, so it wouldn't be these. I would be using these ones with it, I think. So let's put the rest of these back away. Hello, Pam. Thanks for joining us. And then I found, oops. I found these. Let me see. Oops. Boy, I'm like super duper clumsy today. What's happening to me? That's not unusual. Hello, Amanda. Thank you for joining in on the fun with us today. Hope you're all doing well out there. What's everybody up to? What you got going on? Okay, let's see here. Now, there we go. Have these, which are these check glass beads, which I just love. And I figured these are the black and silver, but they also have like every color in them. So that's going to allow me, that's going to be, I think, something I'm definitely going to use, because it's going to allow me to bring in other colors. And I was kind of thinking I wanted it to be kind of this metallic and white and green. So we'll see. We'll see if I stick with that or if I change my mind. I also brought these in because I thought they're fun. And I thought they're a little bit different. I'm not sure if I like them with this, seeing them together or not. But I thought, you know, you don't see beads like this very often. So I figured maybe there'll be a design element in there somewhere. And then I found these, which I thought worked really well with this. Right? So they've got some dark and some light. And so I thought that could bring in some flashes of color and light. Like I said, I really went wild just kind of looking for things before. So what do you all think so far? What are you liking? What are you not liking? Help me out. I got these as well. These are, I believe, an onyx rectangle. And then I could not have something that's going to work kind of as a spacer, right? I need some spacer beads. So I got some of these microfaceted quartz, but I also picked out some of these. Come on, where's the end? Where are you? Some of these. And those, I think, are going to work really well with this. Suzanne says, I like the onyx, but then I really like onyx. The shell is nice too. Thanks. Yeah, let me know what y'all think. I also brought in some moonstone. Brought some moonstone in. Because again, it has that flash of color. And I want to add a little bit of color to this. That's going to have a blue flash, so that would help me if I decide to go with the lapis, which is here, these beautiful lapis rounds that I could add in there if I want to. But I also brought in some green, this reconstituted green quartz, because you know I love green. So I did that. And then the other thing that I have, let's see here. Let's go. What am I doing about that? Have these, which I need scissors to cut one off of here. There we go. I have these hematite cylinders, which I think are really cool. Suzanne says, ooh, the green. I know, I'm liking that green, right? It's just such a beautiful green. And I love green, but I'm also wearing blue today and I love lapis, so I'm kind of torn. I don't think I want both. I think that's overdoing it. I got to limit myself here. Anna says, hi everyone, I'm needing to relax after a stressful week at work. Well, relax with us, Anna. Thank you for joining us. Um, Relax and hang out, and we'll see what we get up to. We'll see what we get up to tonight. I don't know what's going to happen here. We'll find out. That's a pretty charcuterie, says Angela, right? I think it's a good start. The only Softlex I could find in the house is purple. So I thought about going with amethyst as well. Um, so I might actually do that, but I'm kind of thinking I want to stick with the green. If I have to restring it later, if I like what I do, I don't actually know if I'll end up keeping it in the end. We're going to play around and see what happens. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what I end up with. But I have not played with these colors. This kind of black, white. I also have this, which I don't know. This could be fun as a lighter color. Now I have to see. And this is lots of love to Idabel. She's healing. Thank you so much. Susan says, don't eat the beads, right? Don't eat the beads. No bead charcuterie eating. Oh, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay.
You're okay. What are you over there looking for? Oh. You know what I do have? I have a thing of white Softlex in my computer case, and guess where it's at? The cottage still. I had a nice white strand of Softlex in my bag.
There should be a big roll somewhere.
I know. It's okay. I can do purple. You're not going to see much of it unless I use this clear quartz, but maybe that's just telling me not to use that. What I really probably should try to find is some green microfaceted something. That might be.
Is there stuff left on that one?
This? No. This is done to the done, pretty much. But I know we had some green microfaceted, but I think what we had was serpentine. Ooh, what are these in here?
A mess.
That is a mess, but that's look at those, everybody. That might be a good thing. Oh my goodness.
Where's my other one? Oh, did you check up there? Behind you?
I did. There's only a fire line. Lots of fire line in the house. Lots of fire line. I'll use that instead. I'm getting to use the extreme.
Usually I order that.
The champagne extreme. How about that, y'all? Champagne extreme Softlex. I do like this champagne extreme, I must say. It's one of my favorites. Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining in. Sort of mother pearl colors to purple might play well. Yeah, I just really felt like if I was going to use the purple, if I use any of the clear, I probably should use amethyst, but I want green. So now I've got champagne, and that totally makes it okay. Even though that's not silver, it's all right. Now I can do what I want. All right. So what are y'all thinking? What do y'all think I should do from here? What do I want to cut apart? I definitely think I want to use these because I like these. And definitely we're going to play with the green. I need something to pull that all together, so I think I'm going to use these check glass. So I like this vibe going on, but it's getting kind of dark, right? It's getting kind of dark. So, oops, my computer keeps going off, which means my light keeps going away. If I can type, there we go. There we go. So, I'm going to throw these in for fun. And let's get rid of the lapis because I think I'm going to stick with the green. And I think to brighten it up a little bit, I'm going to throw some of those in there. I think I like that. And I don't know, I'm going to want some variety. I don't think I'm going to want these bright, although that does look nice, but I think it's too bright. I think it's too bright. I think I want the pendant to stand out a little bit more than that. So I'm going to put these back away. This is kind of do y'all have the same kind of process? What do you do how do you create when you're creating things? Do you play around like this, or do you kind of know what you want? Ooh, those are nice. Those are nice and didn't sell the other night. Maybe I'll get those. That'd be nice in there. I like that. That's for size differentiation. They're close to that, though. I'm kind of concerned, but we'll see. And maybe some drops. Maybe some drops. I think I'll want some drops. So I think we're going to go with that. I don't know about that. We'll play around with the rest of these. We'll leave out here just in case. Just in case. But this is what I'm working with. And these are, I think, what I want to kind of play around with it. Suzanne says, I picture it in my mind, then I lay it out. Yeah, sometimes I can do that, but like this one's having a hard time that I'm picturing in my mind. Usually with my bracelets, I'm more like that, but this one, I don't know. Michelle says, I pull a bunch of different colors of beads out and start from there. Nice. Hello, Brooke. Thanks for joining us. So let me cut these apart. What did I just do with my scissors? I just buried them again. So I'm going to pull these out. So we're just having fun playing around today. If you want to make something with me, please feel free. Let's see. Susan says, yes, I play around when I'm creating, often wind up with bead analysis paralysis. I worry I'm not making the best choice I could. That's a thing too, right? That's definitely a thing. I get it. Especially when you're live on camera, right? But you know what? The whole point, I think, of this tonight is for us to just have fun and hang out. So I'm going to design. We'll see. I'm not holding myself to anything. So if it works, it works. If something doesn't work, it doesn't work. If I can't get it to work, I'm not happy with it. That's okay too. It's no stress tonight. I had enough stress all week. Don't need more. Michelle says, sometimes I have an idea of what I want, but I still pull a bunch of colors to see what works. Susan says, my brain likes to overthink things. Mine too, Susan. Mine too, for sure. But we're not going to let it win this time. We are just going to make something, and if we like it, we like it. If we don't, it was fun to play. That's what I'm going to say. Anna says, same with me, Susan. Yeah, I think we're just going to have fun playing today. And I'm not holding myself to having to have a finished project at the end of this. But if I do, that's great. Y'all can help me do that if you want to. But we are not worrying. We're not struggling. We're not making it hard on ourselves tonight. We are just having fun making stuff. So if you'd like to join along, grab something off of your table or your desk or your maker space and hang out and make stuff with me. Let me know what you're making if you are in the comments. I'd love to know. And it says, I feel like I have to try all the choices until I get the best outcome. You know, one thing that I do tend to do, which I didn't really realize it until I was kind of thinking about it now, is that I kind of do this. I lay things out, and then I say, okay, that's it. That's the mix. That's what I'm using. And I think I do that, and that forces me to stop worrying about the beads and the things I'm going to use, and allows me to start to focus on, whoops, not knocking the beads off the table. It allows me to focus on the pattern, and the pattern is where I have fun. And I think I've found that it's the same thing. I was talking with y'all the other night about my ceramics work, and was that last night? I think it was. Holy moly. So I get enjoyment, like I kind of quickly create the base items in my ceramics, like the shape of the bowl. I just let it create itself, kind of. But then where I put the attention on is trying to do the glazing and the design work and playing around with the different possibilities with that. And I think that kind of is the same way I approach beading in a lot of ways, in that I pick, like I've picked these, and now I'm forcing myself not to go looking around the room for other things. It's hard because I just like found these, right? And these, which I was looking for earlier, because this is actually what I had in my mind instead of this. And I still might. We'll see. Because I had these, I couldn't find these. So I found these, but I wasn't in love with these when I brought them over to the pendant. I think they're a little too clear. So, you know what? After I just said I don't do that, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to use some of these. Because all of my beads are kind of rounds. I mean, I have some drops here, but this is a cylinder and this is an oval, but they're all kind of that shape. And I need something that's a little long. So that's what I kind of try to do is find beads that have slightly different shapes and patterns, and how, make sure I have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then once I do that, I tell myself I'm done. And I was looking for that pattern, that shape right there, and I found it. So now I'm done. This is what I have to work with. I'm not doing any extra searching for more beads. I am now challenging myself to create the pattern that I like out of what I have to work with. Susan says, I like to have a pop of color in my work. Me too. That's why there's green in here. I couldn't have, this could be very nice just with the black and white and silver kind of look, but I like a little bit extra. Susan says, I inadvertently remade the same bracelet this week because I dropped it. The beads went kerplunk, kerplunk, and I had to chase them down. That happens. Marianne has to restring a necklace. There was an operator error on the crimp. That's another thing I don't have tonight, are crimps. So this will be something that I'll be finishing later if I like it. We'll see if I like it in the end. Brooke says, pretty pendant. I feel like it wants to be on a multi-strand necklace. I am not making a multi-strand tonight. I don't wear multi-strand necklaces generally, so um, this is going to be a single strand, but we'll have fun with it. Maybe we'll see how far we get. Maybe I'll make it either long, like a long necklace for me. I do like long necklaces. Um, or if I get really going, but I don't think I will. But if I do, maybe maybe I will make like a double wrap necklace. We'll see. We'll see. Which would then be kind of like a multi-strand. Um, but sometimes um, I like double wraps where the one is a little bit shorter and then you have a longer one, and the pendant usually, sometimes you hang the pendant in the middle. Sometimes you put it on the. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out what's going on. My brain generally operates on simple, says Susan. I hate to restring, but the perfectionist in me says redo it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of restringing, but sometimes you have to, right? Okay, now, how do I get started? What do I want the back to look like? And is it going to be the back? And should I think about it as a multi-wrap deal? I'm not a symmetrical person, so I'm not so much concerned with that. So I think I'm just going to play with patterns like I would if it were a bracelet. But thinking about it, but then, see, that's the hard part for me. I don't like symmetrical, but when you have something like this, I just feel like sometimes you need. Okay, I'm gonna fight it, and I'm gonna do no symmetry. Susan says neck messes, aka layered necklaces, seem to be popular right now. Yeah, they do, and that's why I'm kind of like, if I do a double wrap, that's kind of like the same thing, in some ways. Um, yeah, and I kind of want it to be less rigid and not symmetrical. I kind of want it just to be, yeah, I'm going to go asymmetrical. I'm going to go playing with patterns like I do with my bracelets, but this time in a necklace. But what do I want to start with? And will the start be the start, or will it just be part of the whole? Okay, let's start with one of these. You got to start somewhere, right? Anybody else working on anything tonight? Anybody else working on anything with me as we work along together? And feel free to talk and chat and let me know what you would do. I may not do it, but you can let me know what you would do with all of this and in the next step. Right now, I'm playing with these. And I'm going to move. I want to keep that for inspiration, but I need some space here. So I am going to play with a pattern of these. Pam says, finally, I found William live. It shouldn't be too hard, Pam. If you're on YouTube, youtube.com/allegory gallery gets you right there. Should anyway. It's pretty bad if it doesn't. youtube.com/allegory gallery. I think I have that here. I'll pop it up. Should always be that. If you type that in, it should show you our page. You can subscribe there. In case anybody hasn't subscribed to our YouTube yet, you can subscribe there and find everything going on with YouTube for us right there. Anna's eating some chips and salsa, but my bracelet is in front of me. Nice. What's your bracelet, Anna? What are you working on? What you got going on? And these holes are very small. Oh, Suzanne finished up 4 necklaces today earlier. Nice. That's a lot. Good job. Proud of you. Rocking it out. Marianne's thinking about what beads to use with one of my Laura Lunsford pendants. Nice. I like that. Pam says, oh, I wasn't thinking straight, right? Make it easy for yourself. Melinda's making a necklace. Hello, Melinda, by the way. With hand-carved adventurine, allegories, coral, and trade beads. Ooh, I can't wait. I hope everyone posts what they are making. See, I'm making a little pattern with these a little bit, just to play around. Pam says, where can I send a photo of my tan snack? Are you on, if you're on Facebook, the Allegory Gallery Design Challenges group. That's where you can always post everything. It's right there. Facebook.com/groups/Allegory Gallery Design Challenges. That's where we at Allegory Gallery ask you to post everything you do with our beads. We'd love to see every single thing you do with our beads. And you can post it right there. Facebook.com/groups/Allegory Gallery Design Challenges. There's rumors that YouTube is starting some group functioning. I don't think we're big enough. We're definitely not a big enough channel to get all those the first dibs at that, but it's starting to happen. Holly is here. Holly Gibbs says, I am new sub and love jewelry and crafting. Well, welcome, Holly. Thank you so much. I'm just hanging out, freestyling. Jewelry freestyle. This is a jewelry freestyle today. I'm not really instructing, but I'm talking about my philosophy, which I always love to hear other artists' philosophies and how they work. So I'm sharing a little bit of mine, and if you have a project, feel free to work along with us and chime in on any of the comments. We love to meet new people and hang out and get to know you. So welcome. Thank you, Holly. We do read a lot of the comments, so we do our best so that everybody can make friends. We're broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube today, so I read them out because not everyone can see everyone else's comments. I also forgot to turn this on, so now the comments should pop up on your screen. They'll be small sometimes, but at least they're there. Amanda made some earrings, necklace, and bracelet for prom last week. Since then, I haven't made anything. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. No wonder you haven't made anything. You went a little bit overboard, but need to decompress a week, right? But feel free to get something out if you want. Suzanne says, I went nuts on Laura Lunsford this time. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. Laura will appreciate it, and we do too. Anna says, that's a lot, Amanda, right? Everyone's saying hi, Holly. Susan says, hi, Holly. Marianne says, hi, Holly. Welcome to the AG Bead fam. Susan says, Amanda, you'll have to post pictures of your prom jewelry. Yeah, y'all, you're making tons of stuff, and you're not posting the pictures in the group. Get to it. What are you doing? Currently have a very cluttered bead desk, says Amanda. I bet, right? I bet it hasn't been cleaned off since last week either, right? That's how my stuff usually works. If I didn't have to clean it for these lives, and by clean it I mean push things to the one side, I would never have a clean space for sure. And it says, my bracelet is on wax linen, mostly check and vintage glass beads. Ooh, that sounds good. Angela's sorting and reorganizing her last reordering my last reorganization. You got to do it again. Amanda says, I didn't think to post pictures, but I'll get some. Good. Holly recently moved and trying to remodel the craft room. Oh my goodness, remodeling a craft room. I'm doing more talking than I am working here, so sorry about that, y'all. But I'm just having fun chatting with you all. But I totally get that too. Doing more, the remodeling is not easy. We're remodeling and moving things around in our studio workshop, and we gave ourselves a week to do it, and that was way too little time along with everything else we tried to do this week. So that is not going as we planned, but that's okay. That happens. Marianne did some organizing this week. Amanda says, Holly, I hope your craft room comes together like you envision, right? Anna says, that's productive, Marianne. Sue says, that's pretty much always with my bead station, Amanda. I only straighten it for the Zooms. Kind of pathetic. No, it's not. It's a great way to work, right? You have your work there. You want to keep your work there. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Let's see. Suzanne says, if everything I use didn't come from AG, I won't post in the group, just on my personal page. Everything doesn't have to come from us. As long as there's something from us in there, we don't mind. We don't necessarily want people talking about tons of other people, right? Because it's our group. But if you want to share something that you made, as long as it has something from us, you can do that. We don't mind. We want to see what you're making. We love to see. But it's good that we're friends with you, though, too, because then we get to see everything anyway. But yeah, don't ever feel bad. As long as something something from us is in there, we don't mind. This is a tiny little hole. There it goes. Susan says, Holly, good luck with your move and your new craft room. Marianne says, well, Anna, we won't talk about my paper crafting space. Amanda says, every once in a while, I tidy the desk and discover things I forgot about. That definitely happens, right? Definitely happens. Susan says, me too. A couple weeks ago, I put together a necklace from the Mocha kit, but I took it apart. I didn't love it. That happens, right? Sandra's here. Hello, Sandra. Says, I just purchased an organizer for finished pieces with anti-tarnish pouches and is supposed to be here Sunday. So excited. Everything is definitely not organized, right? Holly says, my friend at work approached me today with a fun jewelry venture. She sells Pyrex and asked if I could make necklaces out of her broken Pyrex for her clients. I said, yes, please. That's going to be interesting and fun, right? The old Pyrex is borosilicate glass. It's a nice hard glass. The new Pyrex, I believe, is just a regular glass. But grinding those down and making them, that should be fun. Marion says, I did talk about AG on another website, but since that one has basically shut down their store, people need a new bead supplier. Oh, well, thank you. We appreciate that. We don't that's nice, because we don't usually do that. We try and mind our business most of the time, but we love that you all are out there and love us so much. We appreciate it. Susie is here. Hello, Susie. Thanks for joining in. Susan says, I really hesitate to post non-AG pieces unless there are components from AG friendly peeps like Ava. Yeah, that's the thing too. That's the thing too. As long as it has something of ours, you know, we don't mind. We'd rather see your creativity, and you feel free to share as long as there's something you got from us. Because really, as long as there's something you got from us, it's going to spark inspiration from other people, and we like that. We like that a lot. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. So I've caught up in the comments a little bit. Let me catch up on making some things in my neck. What do you think of this so far? You like this so far? Like what I'm doing here? What do you think? What do you think? I'm not sure. I'm just playing right now. And I'm trying not to get quiet. It is very difficult. I don't know if any of you have ever tried this, but it is very difficult, I will let you know, to talk and design at the same time, because mentally I'm in my head designing, but I'm also trying to talk on another subject about everything y'all are talking about. So, yeah, give it a try sometime. Let me know. Maybe you're better at it than me, but it is hard to talk about whatever's going on and also think about your design at the same time. It's easier if the design's already set up, but I do not have this already set up. Marion says sometimes the stash has to come into play, regardless of the origin of all the beads, right? Susie says, I like it, but there's an extra bead in there. Where? Oh, I know. I did that on purpose. You'll see this come through again. I did this little grouping on purpose. It's gonna be a patterned group. You'll see that repeat at various points. That's the plan anyway. You'll see this pattern right here. 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 repeat. That's the way I do things. Pattern repetition is what I like playing around with. Suzanne says, I'm out of my depth. This is so different from what I do. I'm just playing. I am just playing. I am by no means... I talked about this the other day, how I don't consider myself an artist. I consider myself a maker. And I don't think there's anything wrong. I'm not trying to, I don't think that there's... I guess what I'm trying to say, some people, I think, put artist above maker, or above craftsperson, and I don't look at things that way. I just feel like they have their own definitions, whereas for me, maker feels more correct for who I am, whereas artist feels like something different from me. So I just consider myself, not just, but I consider myself a maker, and I just play. I don't have any plan with this. It's like an SOS pattern, says Anna, right? Yeah. If you look at the things I make, you will see internal patterns throughout, usually. And I'm trying to decide what to go with from here. Sandra says, okay, I'm liking the black and green. Good. Because it's gonna go with all this. And it has to be, this is the focal. Maybe. We'll see. I may end up liking it as just a necklace by itself, or a multi-wrap necklace. We'll see if I actually add this on at the end then. Sometimes that happens too. I think I need a big green one. I think I need to go with the big green now and get that in there. Or is that too close to the other green? No, I think that's good. I think that's good. Maybe. So what else is happening with everybody today? Susan says, does anyone else do patterns and incorporating patterns and components that have some meaning, like Fibonacci sequence or something? I don't necessarily... I can say that I don't incorporate that have any special necessary meaning. I just find patterns that I like with the beads that I've restricted myself to, and then I use them. I make a pattern. If I find something that I've done that I like, I then make myself use it multiple times with the beads I'm using. I don't like that. I think what I want to do is this. And then this. That feels better to me. Marion says, I have a Morse code necklace of long and short bugle beads. Nice. Suzanne says, I do not, but I do have hidden information in my pieces sometimes. That's cool too, right? Do I like that? I do like that. I do. It's Susan says, I like to throw in quartz because there's a strong metaphysical meaning. That's good. I mostly do things that I like. Mine is out of pure joy for what I am into at the moment. Like I was very into golds and yellows for a little while, so I made a lot of things with gold and yellow. And now I'm trying to get this tiny little bead on here again. I think the end of my wire may be a little bit frayed. Let's see. There it goes. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to fall out of love with these right here. I'm just going to keep going. Suzanne says, you got me into pearls and greens. Nice. I like that. I like when I do that. Get people into something new. Try something different. Do I want to do a big one? This is one of the biggest beads that I've got. Yeah, I do like that. And then I'm going to pattern that. I'm going to turn that into a pattern. So I'm going to finish with that. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go to the green. And back to this. So that has now created that. Susan says, I like that. Keep going. Oh, good. Sometimes I don't know. And I know the blue is hard for y'all to see, probably, the blue matte. But I'll try and keep picking it up every once in a while so y'all can see kind of where I'm at with this. I'm starting to like it. I think. Anna says, but the patterns can be in the form of stones with meaning or powers, or in beads telling a story. So not the same, but the same, right? Michelle says, I use 3, 5, 7 in my jewelry, especially threes, but there is still no meaning. I just like 3. Nice. Yeah, odd numbers often, they say, in design, look better. I don't know. I don't know if I tend to work with odds. Like this is an odd number of greens, but I do tend to, I don't know if I do. And I think what I want to do next is set up a little chain. Whoa. Set up a little chain of these. Throw that on there, and I want to put multiples of these together because I think when multiples of these come together, they're going to be a fun element. They're going to be able to, these can twist and turn, and I like to set up multiples of things like that. You know what I really wish I had right now are some cornflake pearls. Cornflake, oh, I have them at the store. Cornflake peacock pearls. That would be amazing in here. Suzanne said it's looking nice. Thank you. That's another thing. I may read your comments more than once if I... Sometimes I read them in my head, and then I'm still thinking about a different topic, and I can't remember if I actually read them out loud or not. So it's just, that's just a part of me designing and trying to talk at the same time. I'm not trying to double compliment myself. Okay, I think I like where this is going. right now. I'm so used to doing bracelets, though. I'm hoping that this turns out to be a nice necklace. Um, but if not, I'll leave this off and I'll end up with a really nice bracelet for myself, if nothing else, right? I don't make necklaces that often, to be 100% honest with y'all. This is a challenge. This is definitely a challenge for me because I wanted to use this piece, but I definitely don't make necklaces that often. Let's see here. Everybody's talking about Susan's saying that's kind of what I do in my work as well, Anna. I think referring to the patterns in the form of stones or meaning. This just makes things more fun and meaningful to me, and the designs flow better. That's good. Let's see here. Where do I want to go from here? It is not easy looking through the camera. The thing with this is I love the green, but I don't want to overdo it on the green. I feel like the green could get, if you overdo it, I feel like it makes it less special sometimes, right? That pop of color. If it's overdone, it's not just a pop, it's like the whole thing. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do without overdoing it. I think it's time to lead into another one of these, but I'm trying to think how I want to do that this time. I think maybe leading into this. Do I want that there? Suzanne says it could fight with the focal if you overdo it, right? Yeah, and I don't know. I kind of wish I had a smaller version of that. I usually, which could be these, but I think that's too much color. That has definitely green in it, but I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to refrain. I'm going to hold myself back. I knew, I said I wasn't going to do this, but now here I am looking for a possible other one. No, we're just going to stick with what we've got. Stick with what you've got, William. I do have these. These were just spacers in this set. But they may be what I'm looking for. Maybe what I'm looking for after all. Really like the light green here. Me too. I wasn't sure with the light green. That was actually one of the ones I was like, I don't know if I like that. And now that I'm using it, I actually prefer it. So we'll see. Sue says, adding quartz and other symbolic items is like wearing a protective talisman to me. I agree, Anna. The design's flow has to work. You could always make a beaded necklace and put the pendant on a plain chain, wear them together. That's an idea too, right? Good idea, Suzanne. We'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. How I end up liking or not liking this with the pendant in the end. I do like big and bold. I do like big and bold, so I'm not afraid necessarily of wearing something big and bold. So I think no matter what, I'll be okay. Okay, now I want to do something with these, and I have to see how I want to do that. I don't want them to be, I want them to kind of be more of the star of the show here. Whoa, okay. Let's see what they look like next to this. Okay, so they do stick out a good bit from this. Sue says, I like the lighter green, not sure about the other green. Yeah, I like both greens. I thought I was gonna like this green better, but I like this one a lot. Um, but I like the transparency that this one gives, matching it with the gray beans. So now that I know that that's the right size for there, let's um, let's create a slight break. I just lost the bead. Oops. Sorry, everybody. Shaking you around. There it is. It's under my stand. Suzanne says, I love big and bold. Me too. I'm not afraid of it. I don't wear much, especially of my own stuff, but I'm trying to get more into that, you know? Wear the stuff you make, right? Be proud of the stuff you make. Um, I just don't wear a lot in general, and I'm trying to move myself into a place where I do wear more jewelry. I mean, it is kind of our entire life. You would think I would wear more. Why can't I see the hole in this? There it is. Not yet. Yeah, that's what I want to do. This is next. Sorry if I get quiet. I'm trying to do the talking and the designing, but sometimes I get in my head with something and a thought on the design, and I go quiet. So that's why I hope you all will continue chatting with each other. I know a lot of you are designing too, so I appreciate the chat while you design. I know it's not easy. Susan says, I do wear my stuff, especially bracelets and earrings. I'm very overdressed for going to the grocery store. Nice. I like that. I think everybody should be overdressed for going to the grocery store. 100%. Why not, right? Why not? Generally, on a day to day basis, I don't wear the things I make. But when we go to an event, that's when I pull the stuff out. And I really need to get better about just wearing the stuff I make on every day. Because if you don't wear it, who's gonna show it off for you, right? Especially when you're trying to sell this stuff. So who's still out there? We got a few people watching. Otherwise, stuff just sits, right? Yes, I agree. Why have stuff just sit? I don't want stuff just sitting around. I like to play with things like this that move and can lay. When they lay against you, they can lay in various ways. Um, not kind of forcing them into any design. Suzanne says, I don't wear necklaces when I teach. That makes sense. That makes sense. You're doing yoga. That's probably not the place to be wearing things. I don't know if I like those that close together though. I thought I was going to like those. If they would definitely sit like that, I would like those, but you can't be sure they will. So I think I'm going to do something different with those. I think I'm going to space them a little further apart using some of this hematite. And it says, I'm having to redo some strands in my bracelet. Need the strands to all be the same length, and that requires changing patterns of beads. Yeah, if you're playing with patterns and trying to get things to be all the same length, that is not easy. 100% not easy. Susan says, I like the flow of this necklace, William. Thank you. I'm going to do this and see if I like it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm liking this way or not still. I think these are too far apart now. I'm going to do one more and see. Working with that 3 things that Michelle talked about, right? See if I like these 3s. Susan says, bracelet fit can be challenging. Yes, it can. That's why most of my bracelets end up getting an extender chain. Just because, especially when you're selling them, because you don't know who it's going to go to, and you will not sell it if it is not the right size. Now they're too far apart. Too far apart. They look too, yeah, they're too something. So what do I do about this? Anna has a cat trying to lay on and next to her. Nice. It's cute, but I do know the troubles of the feline kind when you're trying to work, right? They just want to love on you. Maybe 2 of these in between will be enough. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm kind of speaking out loud some of my thought process. I hope y'all don't mind. Because these are the things that I go through when I'm working on stuff. And I don't usually talk about it. But I find that stuff interesting when I hear other people talking about it. So maybe you'll like it. And if not, just ignore me. Whoa. That one's off center. The drilling is a little bit off center. Okay, I think I found my happy medium here. I still don't know. You know what? Let's try. Let me just look at this for a second. Sue says, I don't like bracelets that fit like a tourniquet, but too loose won't work either. Yeah, it's really, people are more, aha. I think that's what it needs. Let's take these back off. People are more particular on bracelet fit than most things. Like a necklace, if it's an inch or 2 longer or shorter, people will be willing to overlook that most of the time. If it's like an inch or 2 longer or shorter than their, what they say they want. But a bracelet, I will have people try on bracelets and they shake their wrists and shake their hands and they move things and their hands up and down and it is a very particular fit for a bracelet. Leah's here. Hello. Hi, I enjoy hearing your thought process. Love the green. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This is what I've gotten finished so far. This is how it's looking. And I'm trying to see if I were to wear this, how long would I want this? If I were to put this, sorry, I'm trying it on myself right now, everybody. If it were a single wrap, I would want it just about here. I'm about a third of the way done probably if I want a single wrap necklace. This is the line between the dangles looks great. Thanks. That's about the third or fourth different thing I've tried with those, and I think I like that the best too. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I was not liking what I did before, but I think this works, and I like how this looks. And it brings that lime green back into it a little bit down here as we're going along. And I'm really just trying to decide if I want to do symmetrical. We'll see. Because I'm kind of trying to imagine this going up. If this were heading into the pendant, and I were to do that up the other side, I'm just not a symmetrical person though. I'm just not. But we'll see. We'll see. That is the easier way out sometimes for me, even though I'm not a symmetrical person. You know, just repeating the pattern on the other side. If you like the half you've done, it is an easier way to not have to use extra brain power to create a whole other side or more patternings. But I'm not sure. It's just not me. Let's bring back this pattern that I did up here again. Suzanne says, I almost did a symmetrical necklace, but I talked myself out of it. Yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. If that's your style, that's your style, right? And if you like that, good. Do that. I'm just not necessarily that way. But I don't always think my patterns look good symmetrically. I think that's part of it too. Some people have a talent for it. You know, some people say that asymmetrical is harder. And I don't necessarily find that to be true. I think that it can be harder, but it can also be easier. Because when you do something symmetrically, it definitely has to look good being done twice, right? When you're wearing it. And sometimes I think maybe my designs, if you saw the same thing twice, I feel like maybe it's too much. I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. I always hear so often that asymmetrical is harder to do. And I think sometimes that comes from people who do things symmetrically and they're not giving themselves enough credit. Because doing things symmetrically takes a lot of talent to sometimes not overdo it, right? I don't know if that makes any sense. What do you all think? Symmetrical or asymmetrical harder? So there's that pattern, and I'm bringing that pattern back down here again because I kind of like this small size because I started getting pretty chunky up in here, and I needed to start bringing it down, and this added a little bit more chunk, so I wanted to have a little bit of a part here that wasn't too chunky. And I think at this point I want to throw on one of these fun, and I need to see if I'm going to like this, but one of like these. What do I think of that? What do you all think of that? Is that fun, or is that, you know what, I think it's too much by itself there. So I want to, whoa, that's not being able to see through the camera. Okay. I need to build up a little bit, and maybe I just need to go to this and this and back to this. Holly says, I tend to lean towards unique sisters, not twins, right? I think so too. And if I'm going to put these on, like these were made to be, Anna says it may be too white with the rest. That's what I'm wondering. But then also, if, let me see, and of course I'm doing it where the comments are in the way now. But if this is down here, this is my thought, is the pendant itself is going to be too white with the rest. If I don't add something like that into it, maybe. Like, because the pendant is going to be down here. Do I want something white up there to tie it in? Or is it going to be too much? Because I'm going to have another one of these somewhere along the line. I will use them both if I'm going to use one. With the pendant, the white is purposeful, says Anna. That's what I was thinking. But should I just do without it completely? I think I need them. Here I go again. I threw these to the side, but I'm wondering now if pulling in some of these would be better than using that stark white. They don't really, I mean, they kind of mimic these, which is kind of nice. And they have a nice chromy color to them, but also white on the other side. Questions. Thoughts. What am I thinking? Do I like this look? I also, sometimes Holly says those are nice. Thank you. Sometimes I feel like I'm, throwing everything in the kitchen sink at it, and I don't want to do that. And it says, I think the shell will work. Yeah, I'm trying to see. There's something telling me I'm not quite happy with that. I think I'm going to leave them out. Maybe. We'll see. I think I'm going to use the white and black lamp work. I think for me, I'm making this for me. I'm not making it to sell. And I think for me, I like the lamp work better. I'm just not sure I like the lamp work the way it is. And it says, I like that repetition of the 3 in a row. Which one? These? These? I don't know. I'm just trying to see. I don't know if I like that. I don't think, though, having this green butt up against the other green is the solution, though, either. Susan says, Good idea, Holly. I like the term unique sisters. Yeah, I know our friend Jen, she always used to talk about when she would do um, earrings and wire wrapping, because so many people worry that their wire wraps aren't perfect. She always used the term sisters, not twins. And I always like that. This is getting away from me. I don't like that either. No, I can already tell I'm not happy with that. Let's try something else. Let's try these. There, maybe that's what I want. That feels really heavy right there. Okay, I'm gonna try one more thing. Okay, I think I like that. I think I like that, except now maybe I will add a little hint of green. This green. Okay, that I think I like. Holly says, is the pendant white buffalo? It is dendritic agate. It's a dendritic agate. Yes, that I like. Finally, something I like. I like how that came together. All right. Sometimes you just need to sit with a problem for a while, right? Play around with it till it does what you want it to do. Sometimes it never does what you want it to do. I also think I have a kink in my beading wire, which is going to be annoying. Because there's usually no way to get that out. We'll see where that lands. It's not too bad. Fixed it a little bit. And this is nice. Thanks. Yeah, I like how that came out. That makes sense with the rest of the necklace, I feel like. Where things are headed. All right. Now back to my littles. Let's resort myself here. Pull off some more littles. Put the kink in a large bead. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can work some of that magic. We'll see. We'll see. Designing on the fly, y'all. Like I said, there's thank you for tuning in, by the way, if you're hanging out with me tonight. A lot of times most weekdays we have selling shows, but we're on a reset week, so we are taking a week off of selling to catch up on some things, and we're just hanging out and during our lives, instead of selling things, we're just hanging out and making things or doing demos. And we appreciate, even though we have nothing for sale today, that you are hanging out with us. Our online store is also closed. So that is down for the count at the moment. We will be reopening that next week. Hopefully with a renovated website, but I'm not sure how far I'm going to get, so I'm working on it. But we appreciate you all hanging out and just hanging and being friends and making friends. But do be sure, even though our website's not open, if you're new, bookmark allegorygallery.com. We have lots and lots of good stuff on the online store when it re-pops back up. We are just taking a little break to get caught up on some stuff. This is looking great. Thank you so much. Sue says, sometimes the on-the-fly designs work better than carefully selected ones. I pretty much always design on the fly. I have found that out about myself, that I prefer to do that than think too hard on a design. And I seem to have pretty good luck with it, because people seem to like what I do, or at least say they like what I'm doing. And I've sold a number of things that way, so I just kind of prefer to keep doing things on the fly like that. And finding the hole on the fly, however, on all of these beads is not as easy. I still have not hooked up our other light since we put in the air conditioner. It's taking up too much room in the outlet. So, Michelle says, will you be sending an email? Oh, we'll be sending an email to you when you open, William. Feel free to send it now, but yeah, if you want to wait, that's fine too. The one thing I've noticed since it's very humid out, but since I've been in air conditioning space, I'm getting dehydrated much easier. Plus it's hot, which I think is also an issue. So I have to keep remembering to drink. So one moment while I take a drink. This is also your reminder to take a drink. Keep yourself hydrated. Don't let yourself dry out too much. It's very important to stay hydrated, especially in the summer. If you're experiencing summer, that is, where you are. Some of you are in fall heading into winter, right? Depending on where in the world you are. You can get people who watch from all over. You never know where people are tuning in from sometimes. I love that about what we do, that people can find us from all over the world. It's such a, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and that was not a thing. That was not a thing. I grew up in the country, especially. We didn't have internet for quite a while. So it was not always that way. But I always had an affinity for other cultures. Most of you know I studied language in college because I loved the thought of being able to communicate with people from other backgrounds in their native language. And that was what really kind of fueled my love of languages. And the reason I started studying them is because I wanted to learn about other cultures. And I felt one of the best ways to do that was to understand how their language worked. I guess I don't think I've really ever talked about why I studied other languages, but that's pretty much the reason. And honestly, it all started when I was younger, and I was watching a TV show, and I believe it was the TV show Grand. Most people probably do not remember Grand. They may not have even seen Grand, but it was a TV show about a grand piano company that was family owned. It, I think, only lasted one season. Maybe it was 2 seasons. I can't remember. But for whatever reason, I started watching it when I was younger, and I really liked it. I can barely remember it now, but I never missed an episode. Like, I missed 10 minutes of an episode one time, and I was a little bit freaked out over it because I liked it so much, and I didn't want to miss anything. And that was back in the days when, we didn't there was no like DVRs, or you couldn't record. You could record it if you set the VHS up, and if anybody knew how to do that in your family. Um, but if I remember the one time I was away with my aunt, my grandparents, and my uncle, and we went back to my uncle's house, and it was on. I'm like, I have to watch this TV show. So they let me turn it on, and I watched it while we were there because I hadn't set up the VCR to record it while I was away. Let's see here. This says, I'm doing huge reorganization of my craft, so I'm not paying close attention to chat. That's okay. We're just hanging out. Hanging out. Nobody's going to get offended if you miss something. We're all good here. AG Beat Fam is good. We're good people. Lots of good people in here. Let's see here. And I'm also trying, as I'm doing this, these beads are the heaviest. They're a hematite. And so what I'm trying to do is, you don't want to add too many of them, but I'm trying to add them at fairly even intervals around the necklace so that the weight is distributed around your neck kind of evenly. And we'll see how it all works out in the end, but that's another thing I just wanted to point out, because I was like, I am putting a number of, because I started thinking to myself, so this is where that comment came from. I started thinking to myself, am I making this too heavy? But then I was like, but I'm kind of putting it around at even intervals. That's the idea, so that it does not hopefully feel too heavy when it's on. Sanders says, it's looking very good, William. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying hard here. And I kind of I'm a little bit concerned because I'm getting away. I haven't used many of these brighter green. You can tell I'm liking these better, but I definitely like these on here. I just like the other ones, the way they kind of fit better. But I do need to move on and do something with these larger green ones again. And I think what I'm going to do is mimic the pattern I did before. I think that's going to be the best way to put this together. So up here you can see it was one of these, and then one of these that I just put on, then one of these, and then it went directly to a green, and then one of these again, and then some of these small ones again. My micro-faceted beads. And then I actually went to one of these large. I have to see. Maybe I want to do it this time without that. No, I think it'll be okay to use that same pattern again. I think I want to use the full pattern. If I can find the hole. Boy, my lighting is not great. Normally I have like no issue with this. Also, the end of my wire is slightly frayed. It's starting to fray out, so it's making it harder. I should just cut the wire, but why do the easy thing? Right? Why make it easy? Susan says, I just moved upstairs. My Friday night jazz shows are playing in the background right now. It's smooth jazz and jazz fusion. Nice. I wish I could play music while we're streaming. because I work better to music, but alas, I cannot. Because I could. I have some music that I could. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll find some music. I don't know. What's everyone like? Susan's liking jazz. But if I play music, then it's going to get in the way of everyone else's music, right? Are you all listening to music already? What are you all listening to, other than me? Soothing stuff. I don't want to put music on if everyone else is already listening to their music of choice. But I feel like music does help. Okay, how far am I? Where am I? Where am I? Too short yet. Too short yet. And it's just listening to me. Thank you. Let me see. Let's see here. Maybe I will play something that is low enough that I will hear it, that maybe y'all won't hear it too much. Because I do have a music subscription to a thing that we can definitely have. Let's see here. But I need to make sure. See, here's the thing. I know Susie's played music by Armin van Buuren that I liked on a Zoom. Nice. Yeah, that I don't think I have access to, but let's go to mood and let's see, what mood do we have? We have sinister. We don't have, let's see here. I said soothing. How about chill? Let's add chill to the mix. And maybe peaceful. And let's see here. I think. Oh, screen flipped. Thanks. Let me put my hand here so that it doesn't make y'all dizzy. Too dizzy. Let's see here. I need to make sure, though, that as I do this. There used to be a little symbol that made sure it was okay for YouTube. well. Let's see here. Apparently they've changed something. Anyway, screen flipped again. Why does the screen keep flipping? Let's try this again. Okay, if it's going to keep doing this, that's getting annoying. It's getting very annoying. It's like, keep doing the work, William. Keep doing the work. All right, I'm going to keep doing the work. It's not. It doesn't want me to play any music, I guess. So we're just going to keep doing the work. All right. Where am I at here? Let me see the whole thing. Did I do that right? Yeah. Okay. Now, I think I want a few more. I want one more, two more of this. And these. One of these. How's everyone else's projects going? Anybody who's working on anything out there? How's it working out for y'all? Making some progress? Michelle says very well. Good. Hopefully everyone will show their progress on the Design Challenges group. And this is restringing sections. Oh boy. Susan says, when I'm in my craft room, I generally listen to my local classical station. Even if I don't care for a particular work, I can usually still listen to it. Plus, I learn things from the show hosts. That's always good, right? I think that's good. Let's see here. There, I got a little bit of music going. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. I'm trying to make it so you don't hear it too much. Because I don't know that I can play this and still, be on YouTube. Melinda finished our necklace. I like it. Ate leftovers and now on to handmade or homemade ice cream. Ooh, that sounds good. Ice cream sounds good right now. It's so hot. Did you post your necklace, Melinda, on Facebook in the Design Challenges group? I want to see it. Make sure you all post. I like seeing it. We don't just say that, we actually really do. It makes us happy to see the things you all make. Oh my goodness. This is gonna make me crazy. Moon says, I can't get a good pic. It's pitch black out and storming. I tried. It's not a good representation. I'll post tomorrow. Okay, good. Good. I'm gonna see. It keeps flipping on me. I keep trying to look down here to see what I'm doing next. What I want to do next. This is a quite the mental exercise. Right? I think designing is. It's a very mental exercise. And my brain is kind of shot today. Michelle will post. Good. Thank you. I'm liking how it's coming out, but my brain is getting a little tired. So I think I'm going to pause there for tonight. I've been going 2 hours. I think that's a long time. And I don't want to keep going, but this is what I've done so far, so y'all can see it. That's it so far. But I think if I keep going, I'm going to just not. You get to that point where you're like, you're probably not going to be happy if you just keep going because you're so tired. And I do better if I take a break and come back. So I'm going to call that a night for now. And technically, if I really wanted to, I think this is definitely necklace length. It's just not a long, I want to make it longer. Technically, I could stop there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep going. He says, beautiful. Sue says, great job, William. Thank you. Melinda says, I love that design. The colors and shapes work so beautiful. Thank you. Michelle likes the color combo. Thank you. Really pretty pieces, Anna. Thank you. So I think I want to keep playing with it because I do want to do something. I just want to see where this, if I stop here, this would kind of be hanging. So kind of be hanging right here. I kind of like that it would be hanging right next to those. I like that idea now that I'm looking at it. it would hang, if you can see. It would hang like next to those like that on the jump ring. So maybe that's an idea. Maybe that was meant to be a stopping place, because that just gave me another idea to work with. And I think that's where we might go with that later. But thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. It was nice to hang out with you all. And I'm going to go. I don't know if Andrew's made any dinner yet, or if I'm going to be making dinner. I don't know what's going on. I think he's working. So I'll probably go down and make some dinner. And then do some more packing tonight. I have some packing and shipping to work on yet tonight. And then get some rest, because I got to be up early and at the store tomorrow. So thank you all for hanging out. Michelle says, for me, I usually stop when I get tired. That's when mistakes happen. Yeah, I'm really concerned that if I keep going, I'm going to do things that I don't like just because I'm tired. And I would rather not, because I actually I really am liking where this piece is going, and it might be something that I'll be wearing at some point. So I'm gonna take that as the cue to stop. So thank you all so much. Suzanne says, great show. Thanks. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like these, let us know. Maybe we'll do more shows like this where we just kind of hang out and design and chit chat. Yeah, who knows? So thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you all have a great weekend. And remember, if you're in the Johnstown area, I hope you'll stop in the store at 608 Grove Avenue and come hang out with me and make some stuff. I'd really like that. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye now.